And this is Tucson as they saw it. Can you get that?
In the middle of the Nevada desert, far from roads and towns, lies a place not marked on any map. The land stretches endlessly, salt flats glinting under the relentless sun. Here, the ground hums with secrecy, forbidden to fly over, forbidden to enter, and forbidden to even ask detailed questions. This is Area 51. Even the President of the United States is denied access. Known by the CIA as Paradise Ranch, by the Air Force as Dreamland, and by the world as Area 51, it has captured the imagination of generations. What secret is so vital that it supersedes the highest authority on Earth? The origins of this enigma predate the base itself. In 1947, in the small town of Roswell, New Mexico, rancher William McBrazel witnessed a fiery object crash.
I live in Vail, Arizona. A friend of mine who manages a nonprofit in Tucson asked me to take some photos for him for his website. And he was looking for a sunrise picture of kind of the skyline of downtown Tucson. So I had gone out actually on Valentine's Day evening. I dragged my wife up to A Mountain so that I could go up there and just block out some shots, kind of plan the photos that I was ultimately going to take for that website. And so we got up on A Mountain just as the sun was setting. I set up my Canon 40D on a tripod, opened the shutter up fully. I really wasn't looking for picture quality. I was, like I said, I was looking to block out where I wanted to set the camera and the angles that I wanted to take. And so I started to click off some photos, and I had these set with a timer release on the shutter so I didn't get any camera vibration because the sun was starting to set. We were running into fairly low light. And I took, I don't know, it was probably 6 or 8 pictures. I figured I'd had enough that I could take a look at tomorrow, take a look at the next day and decide what I liked. So we went out to dinner that night, went home the following day. I uploaded these photos onto my laptop, and I noticed some lights that I really didn't expect to see up above the Santa Catalina Mountains. And upon closer inspection, and as I really ran out the contrast in the photo, I ended up with something that I still can't explain to this day. This is the original photo, and these lights were showing up just over the top of the mountain. I took a second photo probably 5 or 6 seconds later, as long as it would have taken for me to reset the timer. And in fact, this group of lights was in a much more narrow band, and now about, well, I don't know, I can't really say distance-wise, but they'd moved quite a ways from where that original grouping had taken place. So I still have no explanation for the camera, or for the pictures. These images, these lights have not shown up in any other photos that I've taken. I'm at a loss as to what they might be, and certainly curious as to where those lights came from. They certainly are very, very similar images.
Here's up and flying.
During a violent thunderstorm, fragments scattered across his land were unlike any materials known to man. Light, yet unbreakably strong. Metallic, yet alien in structure. When reported to Sheriff Wilcox, the military became involved, setting in motion a story that would captivate the world for decades. On July 8, 1947, Roswell's press officer announced that a flying disc had been captured. Major Jesse Marcel described fragments that defied explanation, pieces that seemed impossibly resilient and weightless. The public erupted in fascination. But the next day, the narrative changed. The flying disc was now a mere weather balloon. Brazel and Sheriff Wilcox were silenced, removed, and warned never to speak of what they had seen. From this point forward, secrecy would govern the truth. Decades later, witness testimonies emerged describing 3 to 4 foot tall beings with large heads, gray skin, and vast black eyes. The U.S. Air Force published reports explaining the debris via Project Mogul and the bodies via Operation High Dive. Yet these explanations were inconsistent. High Dive, for instance, did not even begin until years after the Roswell incident. In 1955, a base of unprecedented secrecy was constructed in the Nevada desert. Area 51 operated outside conventional command structures, a place where ordinary oversight did not apply. President Eisenhower, who authorized the base, was himself denied entry and threatened to send in the First Army if excluded from knowledge of the operations. Later, President Kennedy requested the CIA's UFO files. 10 days later, he was assassinated. By 1989, Bob Lazar emerged, claiming he had worked at S4, a hidden section south of the main base. Lazar spoke of reverse engineering alien spacecraft, including the Sport model, which employed a propulsion system manipulating gravity waves and powered by element 115. Skeptics questioned his credentials, noting the absence of records from MIT or Caltech. Yet his name appeared in a 1982 Los Alamos phone directory, and element 115 was later synthesized in a joint U.S.-Russian lab, confirming part of his account. Despite personal scandals and legal issues, Lazar passed multiple lie detector tests. Element 115, also called moscovium, is theorized to produce immense energy. If harnessed, it could provide limitless clean power, upending global dependence on fossil fuels. Imagine an economy freed from oil, coal, and gas. A paradigm shift so profound it would destabilize world markets and the geopolitical order. Within Area 51, laboratories hum with unseen experiments. Aircraft defy gravity, materials glow with otherworldly energy, and containment tanks hold forms that challenge human comprehension. Here, anti-gravity platforms levitate objects mid-air, while alien technologies hint at engineering principles centuries ahead of current science. Security is unparalleled. Laser grids, motion sensors, and surveillance cameras cover every inch. Any breach risks exposure of technology and knowledge humanity is not yet ready for. Shadows move silently as armed personnel monitor the facility. Each corridor echoes with the hum of impossible machines, whispering that every secret is guarded with lethal precision. Historical context deepens the mystery. During the Cold War, the need for superior technology and intelligence intensified secrecy. Area 51 was not only a repository for alien artifacts, but also a strategic site for advanced aeronautics and covert operations. The juxtaposition of extraterrestrial and terrestrial technological development created a unique confluence of power, secrecy, and intrigue. Inside, alien spacecraft are analyzed, reverse engineered, and tested. Engineers work in shadow, manipulating forces and materials unknown to the scientific community. Specimens, preserved in stasis, hint at biological forms from distant star systems. Each experiment contributes to a body of knowledge that could, if revealed, change humanity's understanding of physics, biology, and energy. The scope of secrecy is staggering. The base functions on a need-to-know protocol that extends to presidents, generals, and top intelligence officers. Only a select few are ever permitted full access. Every layer of security, every vault and containment facility, embodies a commitment to control information about technologies and entities that could redefine civilization. Beyond technology, Area 51 also embodies the human fear of the unknown. It represents power structures invisible to the public eye, the manipulation of knowledge, and the suppression of truths deemed too dangerous. Presidents, military officials, and scientists alike have encountered barriers erected not by law but by the omnipotent will of those guarding these secrets. The global implications are immense. Limitless energy from element 115 would render fossil fuels obsolete, destabilizing economies reliant on oil and gas. Political power could shift overnight, challenging long-standing hierarchies and exposing the fragility of the military-industrial complex. The secrecy surrounding Area 51 is not only about alien life, it is about control over the very engines of civilization. Bob Lazar's revelations, corroborated by selective evidence, suggest that humanity has glimpsed technologies that could defy gravity, manipulate energy, and alter the course of history. Yet, the truth remains shrouded, layered with disinformation, and protected by a facility that operates beyond the reach of elected officials and public oversight.
Pictures, not only pictures of just plain pictures, but I gave them assignments, being a senior scientist, and they got a picture of up close and personal. This is a UFO which is ready to take off, and it is very up close. And they informed me that there are three elements which the UFO is contained. One is telluride, the other is germanium, the other is palladium. I did not say a metal once. And not only that, but the things pick up and fly using anti-gravity. Now, that's one picture. Here's another picture. In this case, the UFO is not turned on, ready to fly. Therefore, it only shows on the upper part of it. And generally, it's white on the underside when power is applied. Here's also another of the same order. Now, these UFOs are 38 feet in diameter, and it was rather surprising to me, since I actually physically gave them my camera. They took this picture as a UFO was departing. Within one flick of my camera, they got 3 UFOs.
As you imagine walking through the corridors, past the hangars, laboratories, and containment units, you realize the enormity of what lies hidden. The stakes are higher than politics or profit. They involve the potential reshaping of civilization itself. Area 51 is not just a base. It is a vault of power, knowledge, and secrets that challenge every assumption about reality. The lies, the contradictions, and the threats made against presidents all point to a singular truth. The greatest secret in human history is not in the stars. It is locked away here on Earth within Area 51. The question remains, what are they hiding, and for how much longer can they keep it hidden? Massive aircraft loom in the shadows, their shapes hidden, defying belief. Sparks flicker across metal. Every echo whispers secrets. A hidden lab hums with strange machinery and glowing tanks. Shelves of element 115 pulse with otherworldly energy. Alien craft hover silently. Engineers move in shadows, manipulating forces beyond human understanding. Objects float on anti-gravity platforms. Laser grids slice corridors. Sensors ready. Alarms blare as a containment tank cracks. A humanoid shifts, breaking the liquid surface. Red lights flash. Shadows stretch. Area 51 is alive with truths no one should see.